Welcome everybody to the 7th week. Where did I put my marker? Today's going to be a great lesson. It's going to be short, but it's going to be powerful, okay? Let's use this one. This is called Impatiently Patient versus Patiently Impatient. When I first worked with my mentor, the one that changed my life the most, his name's Ty. This is a lesson that he taught me, which was incredibly powerful because I think naturally most of us are this one right here, this patiently impatient. This is most people. Average people are patiently impatient. And the reason you want to follow this lesson is because my mission, like I keep repeating through this course, is my mission is to make you not average. Because to reach a transformation, to go through all the hurdles it takes for you to be successful, you're not going to be able to be average. You're going to have to not be average. You're going to have to be above average to reach your goal. It's just the facts. You're going to have to do more than the average person. That's why the average person doesn't have the results they want. And at one time, I thought and categorized myself into an average person mindset, which is why I wasn't achieving the goals that I have, or the goals that I have had for myself. And I constantly remind myself of this lesson because as you progress and you set new goals for yourself, it's going to be natural for you to want to be this PI. And I'm going to explain to you what exactly IP and PI means. But basically, PI means patiently impatient, and these are the people who say these are the people who lack urgency. Okay, lack urgency. And I talk to a lot of people. A lot of people message me asking me for fitness tips and advice. And once I start talking to them, I get to know them. I go, how long have you been struggling trying to lose 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 pounds, 200 pounds, 300 pounds? How long have you been trying to do this? And they would say, oh, my whole life. I want to stress something to you. If it's taking you longer than a year to get any type of results, you're on the PI side. Patiently impatient. These are the people who put their health off, people who put their finances off, put their job off. They are patiently impatient, okay? They lack urgency, okay? These are the people who say, I'm going to start my workout program tomorrow, or I got back from out of town, so I'm going to start next week. They're patiently impatient. Does that make sense? Okay? So they lack urgency. They have the habit of putting things off. Okay, I'm going to tell you this. I moved to California to train at Gold's Fitness. Best bodybuilders, physique competitors in the fitness industry. Everybody, most of the people in the fitness industry that are influencers, have a big following, businesses, whatever it is, they train there. And I'm telling you, those people got rid of that mindset a long time ago. All of us, I believe, are born this way, but we learn not to be this way. Maybe some people are born into families. I know I have some friends. My old strength and conditioning coach, Gino Pierce. He was a champion coach for wrestling. He would coach the football team during the summers, and he was so positive. All the lessons he taught me, I continue to teach myself and teach clients and live by to be successful. But he had that urgency, and he taught us how to overcome that. And that's what I want you to start learning, is how to overcome that average procrastination. Because this is another thing that these people do. They procrastinate. I'll get in shape someday. That's what they'll say. That's a key word that they use, someday. Okay? These are the people who start a program, or if they do start a program, they expect it overnight results. Okay? And some of you may say, well, I'm not expecting overnight results. Well, if you want to make a complete transformation of your body in less than like 6 months, you're falling into this category. And I'm not beating up on you. I'm not picking on you. I'm just showing you this mentality has got to go if you want success. I'm just going to give it to you cut and dry today. You got to get rid of this mentality. The years I've wasted in my life when I didn't even know this lesson and I fell under this, patiently impatient, I will never get those years back. And that's why I'm being so direct on this lesson, because this lesson is your wake-up call. You've got to get rid of that. You've got to build some urgency, and you have to go out there and you have to get it. Okay? So I'm going to finish right now. Expect overnight results. Okay? So the biggest thing to take away from this is they lack urgency. So if you're watching this video, I want you, if you're aware of this, I want you to start becoming impatiently patient. These people here, I'll give you another story, an example of a patiently impatient person. Okay? I had a friend. I remember when we first started our fitness journey together, we both wanted to gain muscle, lose fat. And I remember, I think because from Gino Pierce, that strength and conditioning coach, I had a fire underneath me from football, that mindset of toughening up, having urgency, going after your goals. I had that downloaded from Gino Pierce. He's a fantastic guy. And I took that urgency and I got started. Maybe my workouts weren't the best. Maybe my nutrition wasn't the best. Looking back, it definitely wasn't. But I took action. I didn't care. And I started to get results. And regardless if what I was doing was wrong or correct, I did not drag my heels. And I remember my friend at the time, he was a perfectionist. He's like, I think I'm going to do cardio for 3 months. I'm going to build the strength of my heart up, my cardiovascular strength. Like, he had it all planned out. And he was very patient with not taking action. Okay? See that? Patient. He's patient with procrastinating, in other words. And I'm hitting you hard with this lesson because so many people need to hear this. He was patiently procrastinating. That's what I should change the lesson of this. I'll add my own 2 cents to this lesson. But he patiently did not take action. He was patient without taking action. And I'm telling you right now, at best, that is going to be marginal results. You've got to light a fire under your ass. That's what this course is designed to give you the motivation and the tools you need to light a fire under your ass and keep a fire lit under your ass. Okay? So going over here, impatiently patient. What is this person? Takes action. Regardless if it's right or wrong. Okay? This is a lot of you people out there, you P's, you planners. This is a hard one for you because you want the perfect plan. And we've already talked about that in previous lessons. But what I want you to do is you're impatient. See how this is impatiently? You're impatient to take action. You are so urgent to take action that you're impatient. You're impatient. You want results yesterday. However, impatiently patient, you're quick to take action. Quick to take action. All right? Today's Memorial Day. A lot of people will use this as an excuse not to work out. Work out. Go for a 15-minute walk. Do push-ups. Be impatient with saying, I'm going to stop at nothing to reach my goal. Doesn't mean you have to work out for an hour to 2 hours, 3 hours. Set aside 15 minutes, knock out some sit-ups, push-ups, maybe go for a quick walk, okay? That is being impatiently patient. However, I want to go over this patient side. Impatient people take action, but know that it's going to take time. This person will take action and then expect results immediately. I would say this is like 90% of people. Okay, I hear all the time. People are like, okay, I'm ready to get started. I went and got this program, or I went and got this diet, or I went and got a gym membership. And they want results or they expect results in 2 to 3 months. It's not how it works. Okay? These are, like I said, I think I wrote that down. Get quick, get fit quick. These are your get fit quick people. Get fit quick people. Okay? That's a big X you want on that. Impatiently patient people are quick to take action, but they know it's going to take time. They know it's going to take a minimum of 6 months. They know it's going to take 18 months. They know it may take a year, 2 years, 3 years. They are committed to the long game, but are eager to take action. This was when I started working with my first bodybuilding coach, and I had a lot of urgency, but he really kind of took that urgency and molded it in to this IP, which, in other words, if you want to think of this as your success formula. Okay, this is what successful people do. And like I keep saying in this course, is I want to give you some awareness so you can start looking for patterns. Look for patterns. Look at your friends who are successful. Look at your friends that are unsuccessful. Think about the words that they're using. This PI person, they always say, I'm going to start tomorrow. I'm going to start next week. I'm going to start next month. Fuck that. I know I said I was going to stop cursing, but this is a lesson I'm very passionate about. Fuck that. You got to get rid of that. You start today. These are your people in January. They come to the gym. I want to get in shape. It's like, well, what's the difference between January or December or February or March or November? There's not. Like when I first got serious about my health and fitness transformation, I was doing body weight exercises. I was willing to stop at nothing. And that's the same mentality that you need to take from here. So don't have the January mindset. Don't be that. I'm telling you, most people, what is that saying? Most men live lives of quiet desperation. They don't take action. This goes for women too. This is not a gender specific. Men and women, they procrastinate their life away. They say, I'm going to go to the gym tomorrow. I'm going to start tomorrow. They put off. Okay? And this used to be me too. Like I said, I'm not picking on you if you feel like you're being attacked right now. This used to be me, and I would invent reasons as to why I couldn't start right now. And I think it's funny, and I acknowledge those of you. Maybe this might be you. I understand that maybe your situation makes it very difficult to get into shape. Maybe you work a lot of hours, which we've discussed before. You need to take control and ownership of your schedule and the things that you set times for. But being this person, you got to break out of it. You got to get out of that mindset. Okay? So, success formula, and that's what I wanted to say too. Start being aware of what the successful people in your life do and what the unsuccessful people in life do. And these people over here, the successful people, they all have this pattern. I've noticed it. Ever since I learned this lesson, I've spent my whole life kind of observing and being aware of why are these people successful? What do they think? How do they act? And I'm telling you, they take action immediately and then understand that it's a marathon, not a sprint. Marathon, not a sprint. If you had to get a tattoo if you got a tattoo from this course of the most important thing you've ever learned, I would say this would be it. A marathon, not a sprint. These people understand that the result, the goal they have for themselves is going to require them it's going to be a marathon, not a sprint. However, they have to take action right now. So they take action and then they're patient with the results. Okay? Does that make sense? These people over here, they procrastinate, they invent reasons why they can't get into shape. Well, that's what I was saying earlier. The amount of people that message me for help, and then when I give them help, invent reasons why they can't do it or why they need to put it off. I'm telling you, as soon as I start hearing the way people talk, I'm like, that's a PI. And the bad thing about being PI, it's like cancer. It infects you, you don't even know that you have it, and then one day you wake up and you realize you wasted your whole life, you've got even worse, you've got even more out of shape. And having to start to get into shape is going to be even harder because you've spent so many years procrastinating. You've spent so many years putting it off. Okay? So what I want you to take away from this lesson, take action. Go for a walk. Go for a run. Take action, but be patient with the process. Okay? If you learn this one lesson and apply it consistently in your life, your whole life is going to change. You know, I was just a skinny kid in Texas who wasn't supposed to do much in his life. I had these dreams of people I wanted to come meet and train with. I wanted to train at Gold's Venice, California, and none of that would have happened if I didn't adopt this mindset. And it's tricky because your brain, your friends who are other PIs, they're going to try to convince you of this. Oh, this isn't the right time. You need to, come back next year. You'll do better next year. Like, get that noise out of your head. However, if you're happy with your lifestyle, if you're happy with where you're at, and you don't want anything to change, go ahead and keep this. But if you're in this course, you're watching this video, we had a commitment together that you want to improve your life. And this is the mindset you need to adopt. Take action and be patient with the process. Some of you watching this, maybe you've been putting it off, getting that gym membership. Go get it. Go get the gym membership. Maybe some of you, I know a lot of people are like, I'm going to wait to buy gym equipment whenever, I don't know what people say. People say so many things, but maybe you've been putting off. You're wanting the prices of the dumbbells to go down. Fuck that. Go get them. Go get a smaller set. Go buy a used set. Don't invent reasons to slow yourself down. This process, when you're doing everything right, is already going to take you a long time. You don't want to add more time to it by procrastinating or not having urgency. Okay? Another tattoo I want you to get. Urgency. You should get that tattooed on your arm. Urgency. Okay? So to close out today's lesson, okay? Question. When was the time you were a PI? What was the result? Okay? What was the result? Maybe, you procrastinated. I remember for me, I'll give you a specific example. I remember I've been wanting to come out to California, pursue bodybuilding, go into acting since I was like 16 years old. And it took me until I was 27 to pull the trigger and do it. I could have done this. I remember the first thing when I arrived here in California, I was like, I wish I would have done this sooner. I wish I didn't waste all these years listening to my friends say, you want to save up money. You want to save up money and then do this. All that was BS. Those are PI mindset. That was PI language, PI friends. And I'm not trying to say people are better or less than, but the people who gave me that PI advice are still in the same position that they were in years ago. Okay? So don't do that. Time that you're PI, what was the result? So I got here and I realized, hey, I've wasted many years I wish I could have had here. And that was the result. My PI, my patient, just thinking I was going to be young forever, really stole a lot of great years from me because I could have had a great time out here in California like I'm doing now. But anyways, I don't want you to harp on it. You're not supposed to dwell on this and beat yourself up. It's just a learning experience. I learned from that experience that I have to be more impatient with my decision making. Not careless or destructive, but more, you can plan your decisions, you can plan what you want to do, but be impatient with taking action on it. Stop putting things off. Second question. Okay? What is the second question? What can you do specifically to be more impatiently patient? To be a IP. What can you do to be an IP? Okay? What can you do to be an IP? What do I do? Because it's natural, especially when you're doing something new you haven't done before. It's easy to naturally want to go back to this patiently impatient person. What do I do to keep myself from doing this? This is a message I've been telling you through this whole course. Get comfortable with being uncomfortable. If I start feeling complacent in life and feeling like I'm not being challenged, if I'm not doing something that's making me uncomfortable, that's forcing me to grow, sometimes I get comfortable hanging around the same people who don't really have the same goals as me. That was before. I'm a lot more selective with who I surround myself with now. But in the past, I would get complacent. What kept me from doing that is constantly putting myself in challenging situations that's going to force me to grow. Okay? Doesn't mean careless or destructive. I'm not telling you to go out and buy a whole gym and have it installed into your house. I'm not telling you to do that. I'm just saying, have a little more urgency to get this done. Okay? We're not going to live forever. I hate to say that, but we're not going to live forever. Our children aren't going to be children forever. There are going to be days when you look back and say, damn, I wish I could have been in a little bit better shape so I could play football with my kid. And once those days pass, you're going to look back and have regret. And I don't want you to have regret. Those are just a couple of examples, but this goes for everything in life, not just fitness or the gym. This goes for work. I can't tell you how many people who've been working the same job and they're too afraid to ask for a raise because they're afraid their boss is going to get mad at them or dislike them or fire them or whatever. Who cares? Get another job. Find a better job. Outgrow your job. Okay? Get some urgency. And I'm telling you, if you have this mentality and you start adopting it, your boss is going to notice and they're going to give you a promotion. And if your boss doesn't, then someone else will see that. Because this is a behavior that most people don't have. And when you have this behavior and you start implementing it, people are going to notice. You're going to start attracting a different type. Bosses, managers, people look for this stuff. I'm going to be hiring people on to help this. I've got all these Facebook groups and lessons, and I need some help. And I'm looking for people who have this mentality. This shit, this is like I keep saying, this is like cancer. This is like bad breath. When I hear and see people use that PI language thought, I get away from them. Because this is contagious too. You got to be careful with who you hang around with, because if you hang out with a bunch of patiently impatient people, this is contagious, and you'll start to rationalize. You'll start to reason yourself into these situations where you're not achieving the things you want out of life. You start inventing reasons why things are the way they are. So to end today's lesson, get this out of your life and start focusing on this. All right, answer those 2 questions. Answer them below. I like to read them. I like to see that you're doing this. I like to hold you accountable. If you don't feel comfortable sharing personal details, private message it to me, okay? All right, that's today's lesson. We'll be moving on. We got 2 more lessons this week, so. All right.